The idea, insight, or secret you need for massive impact is just moments away. It's time to claim your career crown. The podcast where business owners and entrepreneurs share the keys to the kingdom to help you open the vault to your greater success.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Petite to Queen's Claim Your Career Crown podcast. I'm your host, Lynn, and today I am joined by our absolutely amazing guest, Sandy Joy Weston. And today we're going to be talking about how to easily shift your energy and shape your world in 3 minutes or less. You're going to learn what you can apply right now in your life to feel in more control and joy. And if you get a ton of value in this episode, I would love to invite you to subscribe because it costs nothing to subscribe. Let me tell you about Sandy. Sandy is a motivational and empowerment keynote speaker, author, entrepreneur, and media personality. Sandy delivers high energy keynotes that empower individuals to tap into their full potential. Audiences love her practical strategies they can apply personally and professionally. Sandy's passion is helping people unlock their full potential. And Sandy, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to have you here today.
Lynn, can you come with me and introduce me on the stage? I love the emphasis on different words. I'm like, yeah, I'm coming out. Thank you, Lynn.
Well, you're welcome. And I'm really excited to have you here because what you do is I was inspired. I mean, it's just amazing. And you have inspired so many people. And I would love to hear what inspired you to help people tap into their power that's already within them to realize how truly powerful they are.
Oh, boy. Well, can we go back a little bit? Can we? Yeah. I want to take you from the first time I realized that it's so easy to create joy within ourselves and others if we just take a minute and see the possibilities. So I grew up in the projects, and I also had a mom. Unfortunately, she battled a lot of mental health issues, so she spent a lot of her time in mental institutions. And during those visits, you can imagine, I was like, okay, this is depressing. And even my older brother, a lot of times, he didn't want to go, and I get it. So I thought, what can I do to change the mood here? I mean, I got to go. So I would wait until everyone was gathering in the lobby to get their medicine. And I'd go around and say to them, you don't need that medicine. Just watch me. And I would bring my tap shoes. Matter of fact, some of my TEDx talks a little bit about this. And I would put my tap shoes on and like dance away. I mean, not long because they would kick me out, right? They thought I was disturbing the peace, but little did they know. But in that moment, Lynn, I saw how quickly their energy shifted. I mean, like that. And these are people in a back space. And I could see the hope in their eyes, and they were laughing and carrying on. And in that moment, I was like, okay, they have hope. I have hope. I can bring joy to them. I'm going to keep doing this my entire life. And I was only 9 at the time when I saw that. So that inspired me. And by the way, I just want to say, I was 9. Some of them probably really did need their medicine. I wasn't going to just cheer them up and not need their medicine. But there were people in there that didn't. They were poor or misunderstood. But for me, it was an opportunity to see how quickly we can shift our energy and the energy of those around us. And if I could do it there, I could do it anywhere. And I made a decision. I was going to live my life. I didn't know how, but I was going to spread joy. And that's where it started.
Wow. I mean, that is such a powerful and moving story. And, from a child's perspective and how that has truly shaped your life. So I want to get into this because this is really an amazing opportunity for you to share how you easily shift your energy and shape your world in 3 minutes or less.
Okay. So here I am, a kid in the projects, Mom got a lot of issues. Dad couldn't really handle the situation. And I just knew there was something bigger out there for me. I mean, I came into the world thinking, I'm going to make an impact. I didn't know how. And I felt like I had angels with me, and they were going to guide me in this really difficult situation. So I never felt, Lynn, like I was alone. I thought something out there really loves me, so I'm cool. I'm good to go. Whether it was true or not, that's what I told myself. Every single day, I would dance for like a minute. I mean, I did take dance lessons, but when I was hearing craziness go on in the home, or I wanted to shift the energy or drown out everything, I would just put on music and dance for 1 minute. And all of a sudden, I could see my energy shift. And then I would think of one word, and I would focus in on one word. I pick a different word every day. How do I want to show up for school today? It could be powerful, joyful, maybe just calm, ease, and flow. Sometimes I would write it down in my journal. And then I would make light of everything. So even if my mom was throwing pots and pans, I'd say to my brother, yo, bro, catch it. It'll be good for your baseball arm. I was trying to make light of everything. So here I am using movement, words, and laughter as a kid. Now, I didn't know what it was. I just knew that I could do this every single day, tap into it, and make me feel better, right? Movement, words, and laughter. Every day, dance a little bit, think of the word, and then throughout the day, I would say, ooh, am I feeling joyful? If not, what could I do to get back there? Well, years later, I end up going to college, got a scholarship to dance, getting out of there, still not thinking about movement, words, and laughter, right? It was just something I did. I thought like everybody does stuff like this. And then after college, I did an internship for my dance, and it took me to teach classes and aerobic and fitness classes for people. And that led me at the time for people to say, oh, you should train me. And I'd go into homes and train people. And the same thing, Lynn, you'll understand why I got to give you the background of why I so believe in the 3 minutes. I always would get results with the people, and they'd say, why do you always get results with them? And I realized it was more the mental fitness of it. Yeah, I wanted their body to get in shape, but I wanted them to be mentally healthy because I saw the complete opposite side of it. And I would study and study and study, like how to be mentally healthy, how to prevent a lot of different things. So this went on for a while, to the point where I eventually opened up a health club. A lot of people are like, you should open a health club. Never took a business class in my life, but I'm like, okay, had the right people, right backers. And I thought it was fascinating, the people that I would see that exuded pure joy. And it was moms, dads, CEOs, didn't matter, police officers, waitresses, waiters. But I thought, ooh, why are they exuding pure joy? Is there something different about them? Is there something different about them? So I bribed them. I said, can I observe you? I think you just show up with so much joy, and I want to see what makes you tick, and I'll give you a free membership to my gym or training. They're like, okay. So for a year, I observed and studied people that I felt exuded pure joy. And at the end of the year, I couldn't see anything. I thought, okay, you either got it or you're not. You're screwed, right? You're just screwed. But then somebody that was working with me goes, oh my God, Sandy, there it is. There it is. I said, what is it? Well, the thing that all these people had in common, which is getting to my 3-minute thing, every single one of them, Lynn, every single one of them did something every single day before they stepped out into the world that got them into a positive, powerful mindset. Now, the routines were all different. It wasn't like, they spent hours. Some spent a few seconds. Some spent a few hours. Some baked muffins. Some worked out. Some journaled. Some played with their dog. Some meditated. It was all different. But whether it was the few minutes or a few hours, nothing was more important than how they chose to show up in the world. And I thought, this is awesome. You can teach this, right? Because how about the people that don't have a routine? I mean, and it wasn't the same. It could be a few minutes. So I love research. I know it doesn't seem like people are like, you seem like you would hate that. I love research. So then I took another year and I worked with what I called the powers to be. And I gathered at one of my health clubs, neuroscientists, exercise physiologists, positive psychologists, gurus, yogis. And I said, I want to create something, a journal, a book, a guidebook to help people who don't have this daily routine be able to get into this mindset. So we created something. It took 5 minutes a day. And I spent another year, Lynn, and I sent it out to another group of people. And I said, this is really going to help you. Pick one area of your life that you really want to take up to the next level for the next 30 days. Spend 5 minutes. Well, guess what? One person did it. It failed. It failed big time. Nobody was taking 5 minutes a day. So I'm freaking out. I go back to the powers to be and one of my professors. I'm like, oh my God, it failed. I can't believe it. I thought for sure. And he looks at me, he goes, of course it failed. I go, what do you mean? He goes, no one's going to spend 5 minutes a day if they already don't have the habit. If they don't believe it, they're not going to take 5 minutes a day. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that? You needed to figure it out for yourself. I'm like, great. So then I created something that took 1 to 3 minutes a day. And I put it back out there. And guess what? It was successful. I mean, 80% of the people did it. Yeah. And then I realized, okay, that's where I came up with. It only takes 3 minutes a day to change your life, your body in a positive, powerful way. Yes, there's other things that you can do afterwards, but it's more about, and we hear this all the time. We just think, oh, this can't be true. But I convinced people because they were willing to take 1 minute to 3 minutes for a month. And then they go, holy moly, this does work. So it's not a matter of how long, it's the consistency of every single day that you choose to take that 1 to 3 minutes a day to get into that positive power mindset. I know that was a long way to tell you, but I wanted you to understand it wasn't like, oh, let's just do 3 minutes a day. People are doing it. There was research involved. There was science involved. Like, why is this working? What are we doing? And how can you stop that train of thought when it gets too out of control and too negative?
Yeah. No, this is amazing, Sandy. And it is so true because we do have that power. Just this morning, I was on a meeting and I was feeling a lot of stress from just overwhelmed type of thing. And I just went, wait, I'm going to stop right now. I want to recenter myself and okay, everything is good. We're going to be able to get through this and I am going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because I know that, that's the type of thing. I have a lot of things coming at me and I like to be very organized and process driven and all that. That's my sort of stressor code. But I give myself that gift of saying, okay, wait, hold on. I don't need to go down this train wreck route. No, I don't have to do that. And so, and to your point, it doesn't take long at all to completely reframe your mindset. And I love that you have a system and spoiler alert, it's called My Wonderful Life System. And I want you to tell us about that and how you can embrace that to really make such incredible positive change for yourself and for those around you.
So you would think that when I was studying these people that had joy, and my mission is to have joy, that I would realize that I was doing movement, words, and laughter since I was a kid. But I didn't. I wasn't even putting 2 and 2 together. Even after, and I've written books and journals, and all it takes is 1 to 3 minutes a day, and taking years to create that one journal page, that is a trigger, a guide to get you in that mindset. And I still wasn't putting together movement, words, and laughter. Here I am, over COVID. I wasn't able to travel around and do as many speaking engagements. So I took a speaking course from Heroic Public Speaking. It was like almost a year course on how to take your keynote to the next level. But a lot of it, Lynn, was writing and stories and figuring out what ones serve the audience and what ones don't. And I'm sitting there with one of my colleagues and she's looking, and it wasn't even in order. I was talking about words over here, talking about laughter over here and movement. Because I get up every hour and I dance for 1 minute and think of my word. I have to. I get up, move around, even if it's 30 seconds, and I do a dance set. But I wasn't putting together. And one of my colleagues says, Sandy, movement, words, and laughter. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been doing that since a kid. Now you're going to be like, how did you not know that? I did it. Because at the time I wasn't calling it movement, words, and laughter. I was just dancing around, thinking of a word. It wasn't movement. This is what I was just doing to get through life. And she's like, you're doing, think about it, movement, words, and laughter. I'm like, oh, wow, people can remember that, and we'll put it together 1 to 3 minutes. And then shout out to my friend Stacy. She says, MWL, my wonderful life system. I was like, holy moly again. It wasn't even my idea. And I didn't even think of it. And I didn't even Lynn. It was so a part of me innately since I was a kid, just because it was survival.
Yeah.
That I didn't think of it as a system. It wasn't movement, words, and laughter. It was just dancing, laughing, and writing the word down. So here I am. I'm here in my 60s figuring this out and putting it together. I'm like, wait a minute. I've been doing this my entire life. No wonder I know it works. So for me, it's not as if I don't get out of, everyone's like, you just wake up hippy skippy every day. Heck no. I mean, there's days I'm like, oh, please, what? Not again.
Well, difference. Here today, you just told me that you were cleaning up cat poop this morning. So
yeah, I was like, well, I was late because I was like, oh my God, my cat said whatever. But the difference is I've been doing it for so long every single day. The difference is I shift out of it quicker. You know what I mean? I shift in to a powerful mindset that serves me well. I'm going to say this. I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. I am not about being joyful all the time. What I am about is being honest with where you are. If you're angry, if you're upset, if you feel hatred, expressing it, getting it out in a healthy way most times so that you can shift out of it. And because I am really, my husband will tell you, and my son, could you be less of a communicator? I will communicate how I feel so I don't get stuck there and I can have more of joy in my life. So the movement, words, and laughter, for me, it's just something I've been doing all my life, didn't even realize I do it. So let's break it down, because I want you to have something that you can really sink your teeth on. By the way, if you have a system or a guide or something you do every morning to get into that positive, powerful mindset, then go forth and conquer. But for most people I know, they get in, they get out, they get in, they do something, it takes too long. This is something that's user-friendly. And you can even do it in the shower if you run out of time. Okay. So let's start with movement, right? You get out of bed, and I'm not saying you have to do a happy dance or break out into a celebration dance, but even just moving your arms up and down instead of just crawling to the back, just moving like up and down just for a minute, like a few seconds will get the blood flow, right? Some people say, well, I don't even want to get out and move, bed and move. I go, okay, so just move in your bed. Just move a little bit. I prefer you got up first, feet hit the floor. Move. Then think of a word, one word. You have to do a body scan. If you're lying in your bed, that's cool with me. Kick your legs up and down. I don't care what you do. Do the worm. Ask yourself how you want to show up today. And this is where it comes to be brutally honest. Where are you coming from? If you're waking up and completely have been in a funk, you don't want to say, I'm going to be powerful today. Too far of a reach. You might want to go for calm, ease, and flow. So do a check. How am I checking in? Okay, cool. Don't judge it. Do not judge it. This is where you are. Be honest about it. But now what? Okay. If you're doing great, I'm going to show up joyful. I'm going to show up powerful. Maybe it's with courage. Think about what's going. I always think about what my day is. Confidence. And then when you come downstairs, write your word down, right? Just write it down. Simple, right? Then the next word is laughter. Think of anything. It's so good to put a smile on your face the first thing in the morning, right? Whether it's petting an animal, right? Some people say I smile when I'm looking at the sun having a cup of coffee. I don't care. Eating your eggs, petting your cat. What brings a smile to your face? Now you have, in the simplest form, movement, words, and laughter. It took a minute at best. And then what I say throughout your day, check in with yourself. Like I check in with myself every hour. Am I feeling whatever the word is? Powerful, confident, ease and flow. And if not, what could I do to get back there? It might be getting up moving. It might be writing in your journal. It could be calling a friend. It could be taking, like you said, some deep breaths, going outside, hugging a tree. It doesn't have to take long, but it's just resetting yourself. So something as simple as that, consistently, if you did that for the next 30 days, I guarantee you're going to be like, oh my God, my whole energy shifted. My mindset shifted. I attacked the day so differently. Now, you could then add on. Maybe you do meditate longer. Maybe you do journal longer. Maybe you do want to work out longer, right? But let's that minute to 3 minutes be consistent with you every single day. For me, it's so part of my life. I'm not going to, I call it my bare house minimum, my BAM. I'm not going to not do that minute to 3 minutes, right? And I'm going to dance every minute in between and move and do a check-in. But there's days I write longer in my journal. Of course, I own health clubs. I move every single day. It's part of who I am. But no matter what, I'm not going to start out my day with saying, how do I want to show up in the world? And choosing how I want to show up in the world. And I'm not saying you have to, but any kind of journal, anytime you write it down, it becomes more real. You can reflect on it. You might even want to write what you want to do that day, have a power statement. It just reminds me, oh, that's what I want to get done today. And I'm not talking about journals with your list of things you want to accomplish. We're just talking about, how you want to feel. How do you want to show up? Something that you really wanted to accomplish that takes a lot of guts or courage to step out of your comfort zone. Movement, words, and laughter. Easy peasy.
Yeah, that's wonderful. But so here's that counterpunch. Why is shifting your energy and shaping your mindset, a challenge for so many people?
It's a challenge for everyone. It really is. It's a challenge for everyone. And it's like we're programmed. We have a lot, we hear about how many thoughts we have a day, blah, 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 blah. But your brain, with not getting into the whole science of it, but your brain doesn't like change, right? We don't like change. They say it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is what we're doing. And whether it serves you well or not, you've created, let's make it, I'll break it down even easier. You've created a habit. And your brain goes, okay, we've been doing it this way and we're good, right? We're good here. Even if it doesn't serve you well. This is what we've been doing. It's been working. We don't like change. And then you go, which is what I do. Let's say I'm looking in the mirror, telling myself I love myself, and I feel like I hear these negative thoughts going on. I go, okay, this is what I do. It's all right, I have those thoughts. They're normal. They're not good. They're not bad. They're not right. They're not wrong. They just got there along the way. Now, Weston, that's my last name. Do they serve you well? No. And if they don't serve you well, what can I do to tell a different story, to shift it to serve me just slightly from where I am, right? Because otherwise your brain doesn't believe it. The body and mind, it just goes, wait a minute. That's not possible. So I do a slight shift in that thought. I go, okay, I can get there. And I start telling, well, I've done that before. Why couldn't I do it again? Does it really matter that I'm old? And I start shifting the dialogue gradually. And then the next day, I do the same thing. I keep shifting the dialogue gradually. I notice my thoughts. I tell myself it's okay. Let's say my MO is, for example, I have a lot of clients that they get anxious. They have anxiety attacks. They get overwhelmed. And people just say, well, that's just part of it, life. And it is part of life. But it's just a matter of how long you want to get stuck there. So it's just telling your story, well, wait a minute. I don't have to have that be my MO. Why can't I shift the dialogue? Things always work out for me. I got this. I've done this before. I don't have to do everything at once. I'm an intelligent person. All these little things matter. And eventually your brain starts believing it, and then you start believing it, and it makes that mind-body connection. It's just little steps over time. And again, the biggest thing is not judging yourself and being honest where you're coming from. Because if you weren't coming from there, you'd have everything you want, right? So you got to say, all right, well, why am I feeling off? I know I have spurs in my neck, right? Too many mountain biking accidents, falling way too many times than I should, not listening to reason. But when my body gets tense or tight, the first place it gets tense or tight is where? In the neck.
In your neck. Yeah.
And I can feel, for some people, it's their lower back, but I can feel it. And I'm tuning in. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, there are spurs there. And yeah, I did fall. But when my muscles are relaxed, I barely feel it. So it's my way of going, okay, so I am worried about this. I am upset about this. And I usually will talk to either a mentor or journal and work it out and go, it's all right. You're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to be disappointed. You're allowed to be joyful. And, I have to tell you, I don't think it was until 2019, this is going to sound crazy, Lynn, that I truly allowed myself to feel the complete opposite side of joy, to be feeling anger or hatred or anything, because I was always known as the Pippy Skippy girl, even with all my friends. Like, no, you're the one to call. You have the answers. And I get it. But if I was sad even a little bit, no one knew what to do around me. They're like, Mayday, it's the end of the world, because that was how I showed up. But when I was injured and I couldn't move for a while, and I allowed myself to open up and get that out, oh my God, the joy was even more powerful on the other side. Yeah.
That's true.
And experience it and say, this is part of being human. Yeah, I am able to shift and I am able to do that, but I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
And I want to feel these emotions, and they're normal. And that was a big lesson for me to go, okay, embrace it, feel it, so that you can even go higher and soar higher and shine brighter, So I did lose a few friends, Lynn. I did lose a few. They couldn't handle it. They're like, wait a minute. No, you're not that in our life. And that's okay, because other ones, came in. Because you have to, especially with your good friends, you want to be able to show all sides of you.
Oh, absolutely.
All that joy in life.
Yeah. I mean, things, always occur, and we need to be able to your point, be able to work through. If you don't work through those, what somebody could say negative or dark, but they are natural things that occur.
Yep.
It's gonna be much worse. You have to be able to, really work through that and release it so that you can get to the other side. So for our listeners who are here today, what could they do today, tomorrow, this week to start taking 1 to 3 minutes a day to change their life in a really powerful way?
Okay. So I would really like to reiterate what we talked about before with the movement, words, and laughter. I would like them, even for the next week. Let's do it for a week. You got a week, right? I want you to get out of bed and move just for a minute. Just move. But you don't have to dance. You can dance. Go to the bathroom. Go to the potty. Do a happy dance. I don't care. If you really don't want to get out of bed and dance, do this in the bed. Kick your legs. Just get it going. I would prefer your feet hit the floor. And then just think of one word of how you want to show up for the day. One word. Go downstairs, or if you have a journal, I have a journal by my bed, write the word down. All right? Write the word down. Then Just think of anything that puts a smile on your face. I want you to start out like that. Anything. It might be your kids. It might be your spouse. It may not be. It might be the cup of coffee, the tea, whatever. Something that puts a smile on your face. That's it. And then throughout the day, check in every 30 minutes, every hour, and ask yourself, am I feeling whatever word you picked? Powerful, joyful, ease, and calm. And if not, what could I do to get back there? A lot of times it's going to involve movement, words, and laughter. But make up your own thing, like we talked about. It might be calling a friend, a mentor, writing in your journal, meditating, breathing. Just for 1 week, I want you to try it. It takes a couple minutes. That's and if you forget to write your word down, you can type it on your phone, right? Let's make it easy. And if you forget to think about, I forgot to do that, you could do it in the bathroom, in the shower. This is user friendly. You'll move anywhere. That's it. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Lemon squeezy.
Absolutely. It is easy peasy. So I am definitely going to be following this, and I'm going to be trying this for the, not just for a week, but this is fantastic. Thank you so much, Sandy. And I want to ask one last question. Is there anything that you wish I had asked you that I did not?
I think you did a wonderful job, Lynn, in asking me everything that I wanted to get out there. The only thing I would like to end with is to feel joy within you. Just take a moment to pull yourself away from the outside world and put your hands on your heart just for a few seconds. And you will feel so much love, peace, and joy coming from within you. I mean, you are innately peace, love, and joy. Your body wants to be that way. Just for a few seconds. And then when you open your eyes, I guarantee you will be showing up with so much more joy for yourself and others. That's it.
Well, that is beautiful. And thank you so much, Sandy, for sharing easily shifting your energy and shaping your world in 3 minutes or less. I know that our listeners are going to want to know more about you and how they can find out about you and connect with you.
So everywhere I'm Sandy Joy Weston, Weston. You can reach me on my website. There's places, I will definitely answer you. I'm on every social media platform under Sandy Joy Weston, whether you're LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. I'm really good at answering emails. So it's sweston@sandyjoyweston.com. And I'd love to hear from you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sandy. And we'll be sure to include all of those links down below. And I want to thank you so much for being here, and to all of our listeners who joined us. This has really been a inspiring and joyful and informative discussion. So thank you again, Sandy. I'm so glad you came here today.
And Lynn, I'm glad we met. I wish you lived closer so we could have our tea and coffee together.
We'll do virtual coffee.
All right. You never know. I could show up on your doorstep. I know where the island is.
You looked it up on the map. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Toodles.
What was your biggest takeaway from this episode? I would love to hear about it. It's important to share the things you love. If you loved this episode, a 5-star review really helps keep the podcast coming to you regularly. Also, if you want to get more sales strategies to grow your business, make sure you subscribe right now. If you want to get results even faster, I invite you to download my sales strategy checklist at petitetoqueen.com/checklist. This has been Lynn Whitbeck, host of Claim Your Career Crown. I'll see you next time.